It is getting close to the start of classes, and you want to get your textbooks to be ready. Where do you find what books and materials you need? Today, I'm going to show you how to locate that on your syllabus and how you can also access the bookstore directly through your MyHC portal. As always, I'm going to start by getting logged into MyHC. You can access MyHC through the Howard College website or through myhc.howardcollege.edu. I'm going to be logging in as Howie the Hawk today to show you where to find your textbooks. Once you're logged in using the same credentials that you use previously or to log into campus computers, to get into Blackboard, and even the same username and password as your email address to get into MyHC. And then you're going to go to the top left-hand side to Campus Connect. It may take a couple of seconds to get Campus Connect to load, but once it loads, one of the first screens you're going to see is going to be the 6-drop rule screen. Every single time you go to Campus Connect, this is going to pop up as one of those screens you see first. If this is your first time logging into Campus Connect, you may have a series of questions to answer first, but you'll only have to do that one time. I'm going to hit I agree for Howie the Hawk because he has read through this many times before. So that's going to bring you to our dashboard, and there's a couple of places that you can access your schedule so that you can find the syllabus for each class that you're taking. You can find it here in the center where it says schedule, and you can click view your schedule, or you can do the registration drop down and click schedule. Then you're going to want to select which term that we're looking at. So we're looking for fall of 2021 and display schedule. And here you can see all of the classes that Howie the Hawk is registered for fall of 2021. You'll see when you scroll over them, in general, your cursor is either the typing cursor or it is going to be an arrow. But if you hover over the course and section, so the name of the class over here in orange, you'll see that is a pointer which shows that it's going to go to a link. So I'm going to click on this Biology 2101 409, and that's going to open up Concourse, which is Howard College's new portal for all of our syllabi and information for instructors. So if you're looking at this, you'll see that this is Anatomy and Physiology 1, the lab for Anatomy and Physiology 1. You'll see that it has what semester we're in, the section, when the classes are taking place. All of that information is available at the top. Contact information is going to have your instructor, the instructor's name, what their email address is, where their office is located, what their phone number is, which is really important information in case you have any questions before the class starts or once classes get started. This is the easiest way to find that information. So I'm going to keep scrolling through some of this till I get to instructional materials. So you'll see under instructional materials, we've got visible body courseware access code. So that tells us the access code that it's going to have an external site that we're going to need. They refer to it here as a required access code for a supplemental program called Visible Body. So for this course in particular, for A&P, it's an additional website and place where you have learning materials, so you can access like digital models to be able to learn those body parts and things that you need to know. You'll see that there is the availability of this item is going to be in the Howard College Bookstore or through the Visible Body website. If you're wanting to purchase it directly through the website, usually if you can wait until the course shows up on Blackboard, there will be more information about how to do that. Or again, you can contact the Howard College Bookstore. If we go down to some of these additional, so you have the Anatomy and Physiology 1 lab manual. Again, it shows the availability is in the Howard College Bookstore. This ISBN number generally works as a fingerprint in all of the book world, not just here at Howard, but all of the book world, for a specific book. So it's a fingerprint for that book. That number is only going to go to that book or that item. What you'll see though on this is that this lab manual specifically is only available for purchase through the Howard College Bookstore. So you could search this online somewhere, but it's not going to show you anything. You're not going to be able to purchase anything anywhere other than the Howard College Bookstore. But if we continue reading all of the information provided by the instructor, she shows that this is an online class. The outlines will be posted in Blackboard. However, it is still a good idea to purchase the manual to reduce the amount of paper that you have to print at home. And it also increases the amount of physical resources that you have. So that lab manual, again, is only available through the bookstore. If you had further questions, you could contact Mrs. Keene directly. Then you'll see OpenStax, Anatomy and Physiology. So generally when you see the term OpenStax, that means that it's going to have some kind of free textbook included or free text available. So you'll also see that this one says that it's optional. So you can actually purchase a physical copy of this optional textbook, or you can open the digital version of the textbook here. So OpenStax generally is going to mean that it's going to have a free digital book for you to access. But if you're somebody who wants a tangible, wants to hold and flip pages kind of book, then you could purchase that book through the bookstore. And then they leave notes that there might be additional resources suggested for different experiments, but they'll make them affordable and readily available if they need to do that. When you're looking at a syllabus, it's just like when you were in high school or if you've taken any other college classes where it's going to work as your contract with your instructor and provide all kinds of information that you might need to know, like what their attendance policy is, what their late work policy is, what their makeup policy is. You know, all of those different things are going to be in your syllabus, including the course requirements, what your assignments are going to be, what your class is going to be graded on, and then institutional policies and resources for students to have access to. It's all going to be provided in your syllabus for every single class. So we're going to go back to the course schedule for Howie, and this time I'm going to go look at Texas government as another example for you. So again, the syllabus is going to have all of the informations, and you've got some shortcut keys over here on the right-hand side. You're going to have the contact information for your instructor. This is a face-to-face class, so it shows you when the class meets and in what classroom it meets in. And then we get to that instructional materials. So they have the required text, Governing Texas 4th edition, who the author is, the ebook, and learning tools with an ISBN number. So again, that ISBN number works as kind of a fingerprint that you could use to search or to compare. If you have a friend that you're looking at purchasing a book for, you can use that to compare and make sure that you're getting the right book. You'll also see that this instructor left a note that you can use any version of the book, an ebook, a hardback, a copy, a rental, any of those types will work in this scenario. So again, attendance policy, all of those things. So we want to make sure that you go and look at every single one of your syllabi before you go to purchase books or whenever you're searching for books, so that you feel confident that you're getting exactly what your instructor is asking for. And if you have a question about what they're wanting, then you have their contact information that you can reach out to them if necessary. So I'm going to go back to that schedule page again. And the other thing I wanted to show you was that you can access the bookstore directly from your schedule page on the Howard College on MyHC. So under your schedule, you'll see this HC Bookstore. Click the basket for book info. So if you click that basket, it's going to link you over to the Howard College Bookstore website. The Howard College Bookstore is not owned and operated by Howard College. It is a separate business, but we do work closely with them to make sure that we have all of the right texts and materials that students are going to need to be successful. So you'll see for Howie the Hawk, it automatically pulled over what the instructors were saying were needed for his classes. So here is that optional anatomy and physiology open stacks that I talked about. So where you could print it if you or buy a printed copy if you wanted to, but you don't have to because you have the online open stacks option. And then you'll see down below there's the Governing Texas ebook and Inquisitive, which means that it's got some other materials included with it as well. And you'll see that it has an access code at $62.50. If it is an access code, usually those can't be used by more than one student. It has to be purchased by the student who is using it. And so that's why you're going to not see like a used or a rental option, because when it has an access code, they're generally one-time use kind of codes. But you may still be able to search that ISBN number if you wanted to look elsewhere and see if it was available. We recommend that you go through the bookstore because we've contacted and worked with them directly to make sure that we have the correct materials in our bookstore for you. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, other than checking your syllabus and then comparing that to what is available through our bookstore, as you can see, you can purchase through our bookstore using the online website, but some students want to come in and see books, tangibly in person, as well as many of our students are using their financial aid, like Pell Grant or student loans, to help pay for their books in the bookstore. So if you're using your financial aid to purchase those items, that usually becomes available a week to 10 days before classes start and ends on the first day of class. You can check out these specific dates at the Howard College website in our academic calendar, since that's going to change for each semester. To use your financial aid in the bookstore, you will need your student ID number and a copy of your schedule, and they can help you pick out the books and materials that you're going to need. So there isn't going to be, you don't have to have like a card, like you don't have to have your Howard College debit card or something like that. You just need to know your student ID number. And basically what's going to happen is if you have $1,500 of student aid available and you're going to buy $300 in books, they're going to put down your account and they're going to charge it to your account within Howard College. And so when it comes time for disbursements or refunds, that kind of thing to come out to you, instead of getting $1,500, you'll get $1,200. So that is how it works whenever you use your financial aid in the bookstore. And you can use that aid for textbooks, school supplies, computer items, most things except for food items you can purchase using your financial aid. And obviously you want to check with the bookstore before you do that to make sure that you have the funds to cover it. The bookstore does have rental and buyback opportunities too, so you can always check those out with the bookstore. That's all I have for you today with information on buying or finding your books that are needed. If you still have questions after looking at your syllabus and looking at this course material area from the bookstore, you can always reach out to your instructors. That would be my first suggestion, is reaching out to the instructor for the class specifically. And if you're still having issues, you can always reach out to us in the student services area, and we'll do everything we can to help you have a successful semester.